Hello, good evening. My name is Miledeth Marmol, and I am taking Basic Guidance 106 under the supervision of Professor Ramses de Jesus at University of the Philippines, Open University. And by the way, before I continue, I'd like to say thank you, sir, for giving us the opportunity to have this kind of experience where I could experience firsthand interviewing my client, and really, indeed, thank you. And this evening, as before I proceed, I'd like to introduce my client. His name is Mr. J. Parada. He is enrolled at Humber College, and he is in his early 20s. He's taking basic sciences. How do you do, Mr. J?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And really, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. This is kind of like a challenge for you because really you are put in a situation where I will do some interview with you, but I know that you can do it, and thank you again.
Okay.
Now, tell me, Jay, what made you come here?
Well, to be honest, I'm kind of in like a situation where I don't know where to be, but I know that I should be somewhere. So it's kind of conflicting of what I should take and like continuing my education.
I see, because I'm listening from you prior to our formal meeting. You're taking right now basic sciences,
That's
right?
correct.
Because you are not exactly sure as to what kind of, what you're going to take eventually. So this one is kind of like the safe side,
Yeah.
and hopefully you will be able to figure out what you want. So, what are your interests?
Um, I enjoy playing the piano. Well, in general, music.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy um, playing around with computer programs and stuff. I enjoy physical activity, as in sports, being physically active, and yeah, those are basically the top three I enjoy.
Okay, it sounds like you are a well-rounded person.
Oh, thank you.
But what do you think? What are the reasons why you're having difficulty in terms of choosing the right path, let's call it? Why are you in the crossroad right now?
Well, at first I took 2 years of education in Alberta,
Mm-hmm.
and from there I was taking secondary education, so basically going as a teacher in music. And as I said before, I enjoy music. However, it didn't really revolve around me, like the course I was taking. I was bored of it. Like, it's not the same. I don't want to do something I don't want to do a hobby for the rest of my life because even hobbies get boring. So yeah, it's sort of like that.
Right. Tell me something. I hear something from you when you said hobby. Even hobby sometimes becomes boring. I mean, if you have something that you really like to do you think there's a possibility that eventually really that becomes like a routine for you?
I think it all depends because if I were to continue my course as a teacher, I think that it's gonna be a routine. Whereas every year there's gonna be new types of students, but the teaching is still gonna be the same. Whereas if I were to go in somewhere in like maybe a medical field, I feel like the situations are not always the same. There'll be a variation, but then also the same thing with computers. Whereas maybe too much of a certain system of like how you use something becomes a bit boring and tedious as well. So I don't know.
So as I listen to you, you have an idea of what you want. You have three options already you mentioned, but how do you feel about it? I mean, what's the confusion about it?
Uh, it's kind of more, I don't want to waste any more time taking something that I'll end up changing my mind with after. So I don't want to go full throttle on something I'm not sure of. Whereas like I just kind of want to make sure that I want to go this direction and I'm set with that direction.
It sounds good. Now, do you think there's something behind that? Why you're experiencing what you are experiencing right now? I mean, like say your personal belief or maybe your experience when you were young, something like that.
Um, I would say I'm a type of person that kind of likes a new thing, like likes to try new things. I would start something, but sometimes I won't finish it because I find something that interests me, and then I'll just keep on jumping around between different interests and stuff. But then I don't know. I guess you could say that music has been there from like day one, and I'm still continuing it because there's more. There's sort of like I could expand and be more. I don't know. I could share it with more people and stuff. Like there's that inspiration, and like if I see an inspiration with something, I'll continue with that.
Okay, so is there like some kind of fear? Why, like when you mentioned that you want to continue, right? You want to focus now. So is there some kind of fear on your side that you will say, okay, if I pursue this direction, I might fail or something like that?
I don't think so, because if I were to pursue a direction, then I would put as much effort as I can. Whereas if I were to take it and start falling off, like if I'm not set with pursuing a certain direction, then I'm not gonna put as much effort as I want
Okay.
into something. Yeah.
I don't okay, I don't know if I am seeing some contradiction with what you are saying right now, because at the beginning you were saying you're taking basic sciences, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not exactly sure as to what course you're going to take eventually, and you don't want to waste that time. Meanwhile, you have this three possibility where you want to take, and then I also ask you if you have any fear of, like say, being a failure. But I understand that we all have that kind of fear, because fear of the unknown is the most I mean, that is the very common fear of individual, because you don't know what's ahead of you. Now, if you think you have established already what you want in life, how do you think you're going to achieve that?
Well, I think I would achieve it just as normal other people would achieve it. It's kind of like you dedicate this much time to that, and then eventually you'll get to that point where you're gonna say all that hard work has paid off.
Okay. Now, I'd like to know though, with your situation, have you even explore or ask help, say from your parents, friends, or maybe a school teacher, someone that you trust, or a pastor?
I'm not sure because I'm kind of the person where I don't really seek help much very often, because I don't know, I feel like I can get through it my own way. But then like say my parents, they do suggest stuff, but then I feel like if I do what they suggest, I'm living their dream, not mine. So I'm kind of maybe I kind of take into consideration maybe of what they suggest. Then if it doesn't work out for me, then I'm back into where we are now.
What you want, really, yeah. Right. It's interesting how you said, if possible, you don't want to ask help from other people. So you kind of have like that idea in your head what you want to be. Same thing with what you said with your parents, right? They somehow gave you some suggestions, and the way you said it, that you don't want to live their dreams.
Yeah.
And then say, for example, I'm just giving an example, like they want you to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And then really at the end of the day, you don't want to be a doctor, and then you go back to where you want to be. So now that we have somehow established or was able to pinpoint what your areas, some weaknesses, what do you think will be the solution, or how are you going to achieve these things?
Well, it's kind of, at this point, I'm kind of like swallowing my pride with doing what I want without anyone's help, which is why I'm here asking for your help. So,
okay.
In a sense, I want to know, like, if there's any suggestions you could make that I can probably look into that can help me, further move on to what I want to be.
I mean, that is one of, I mean, it's a good thing that you came and asked for help, because we as counselors, we are not to make suggestions. We are here to help you, give you enlightenment as to, like, I mean, what direction you're going to take, and also give you some maybe ideas, or if you are a little bit unsure, then we can help you out, right? But do you have feeling of anger, or feeling of being at this stage, at this point in time, that you are unsuccessful with your plans?
I wouldn't call it anger. And
Okay.
it's more of uneasy feeling, because time continues and I feel like I'm not really moving with the time. I'm kind of being left behind. So I don't know.
So, okay, now that you have asked me about something that I could help you about this thing, have you really thought about, like, really searching and looking into your self by saying, let's really use your name, Jay. You look a little bit tense. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I just want to make you feel relaxed, but I know it's a normal feeling that when you are in this situation, of course, it's a little bit uncomfortable, isn't it?
Just a bit, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, have you really checked and tell yourself, Jay, I mean, I'll use this one for once.
Okay.
Wake up, like, see what are the options, and when you narrow it down, do you think this is the path that you want to do? Have you done that, the process of elimination?
Well, in a sense, yes and sort of no, but it's more like I feel like when I'm gonna pick something about, like, pick a course I want to take for the future, it kind of revolves with what I already know within my little box of understanding. So, for example, I took piano lessons and I saw that my teacher, he was enjoying it, and I thought to myself, maybe teaching students would be good for me, right? Because I would like to say I play fairly well with the piano, and I fairly well with kids, but I'm not sure if I could do that for the rest of my life. And then in a sort of sense, I'm not sure. It's kind of a blur of
right. I told you a while ago that it sounds like you are a very well-rounded person. You like, in our case, I know you are engaged in pathfinding, which is like equivalent of Boy Scout, right? In fact, you're very active in that, and then you sing, and then you play piano, and now you are doing your studies. Do you think you're still a little bit I can hear that you're saying that you're somehow afraid that you might get tired of doing that. You understand, though, that in life we have to deal with this kind of concern, because that doesn't mean I'll give you a quick example, right? Say, I am a teacher. I love to be a teacher. I love doing what I'm doing. But that doesn't mean there's no moment where I can say to myself, I'm kind of tired of what I'm doing right now. But it goes in the phase where you have experienced that today, and maybe tomorrow it's a beautiful day. It changes your perspective. So do you think that will help so that you can settle in terms of what you want to do in life?
Yeah, well, now that I think about it, it kind of does make sense. So, what you mean to say is I should take things, instead of making it a routine thing, shape it into a way I find that's pleasing to me. So, if I were to do teaching or continue teaching, I could maybe set up activities for the students and for myself that I find enjoyable for both parties.
Right, so I see that you as a person, you have so many talents, Jay. You can develop that and then really look into it by saying, I am very good at this activity, or I'm very good at this one. I can engage in different activity and enjoy it. So develop that skills, and then from that, kind of like come up with something where you can say to yourself, yeah, I know where I'm good at. I can be good at this thing. I will do my best, and really I will be an inspiration to people, so that your fear and also your thoughts that you might not succeed will not be there. I mean, every now and then it will come back to you, but
Yeah.
focus on the positive things.
Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, I think I have a better idea of what I like now. Or, yeah. Okay, I'll think about it. So, yeah, that was very helpful.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that I did help you, and I'm really am hoping that I did. I was able to help you gain some insights with regards to your concern.
Okay.
So, Jay, I'm very blessed, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
I'm very blessed to have came.
Relax
Yeah.
now, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So yes, that is the end of our interview for this evening. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. Bye bye.